Students, whatever homework is given to you, you have to submit it on the very next day between 8 am to 1 pm to the given WhatsApp number, and it is compulsory to submit your homework as your attendance will be marked on the basis of your submission.
Good morning, children. Today we are going to start with a new chapter, that is statistics. The last year, 9th standard also, you have learned about the statistics and how to grouping the table. That means if you have got a lot of data and how to group it in the frequency distribution table, how to make it, and out of that you have seen so many graphs to draw, bar graph, frequency polygon, cumulative frequency curve, etc. And finally, you have done some of the measures of central tendency, that means mean, median, and mode of the ungrouped data, and all this all you have learned it. So this chapter also we are going to see some more extra knowledge about how to find out the mean, median, and mode for a grouped frequency distribution table is given. How to find out ungrouped frequency distribution table? Already you know that how to find out. Last year you already learned it. Every day we come across a lot of information in the form of facts, numerical figures, tables, graphs, etc. Okay, and these are provided by newspapers, other communication sources, by newspaper, television, magazines, etc. This data, that means it can be varies. Data can be the temperatures in various cities and population in different countries. Otherwise, you can say that profits of a company, etc. and so on. To the facts, numerical figures, which are collected with a definite purpose, that is called by the name data. This one already I learned in the last year, and also I just introducing this chapter by using these old terms. So data means the facts or figures which are numerical or otherwise, that will be collected with a definite purpose, that will be called by the name. What is that? Data. Now I ask that what is the term meant by statistics? Statistics means you have to extract the meaningfulness of this data. For the study of that extraction of the meaningfulness of that data is revealed by a branch of mathematics that is known by the name statistics. That means statistics means a subject which deals with the collection. That means we are collecting the data, presenting the data, or analyzing the data for getting the meaningful conclusions. We have to get the meaningful conclusions. That branch of mathematics, that will be called by the name statistics. So now we understood that what is data and what is statistics. And data also, you know that there are so many types of data. There are primary data, secondary data, and also we know that quantitative data, qualitative data. This all you have learned. There is no need to further explain. Now, next one is that once you have collected the data, you have to present it. That means everyone has to, the investigator has to present it in a beautiful manner. That means everyone will get a meaningful information from that data. For that purpose, what will you do? That you will just make it in a tabular form. Frequency table you will make it. That means how many observations are there, that observation how many times is repeating, that will called by the name frequency. That we will tabulate. That means suppose if you want to, we are taking the marks obtained by 10 students of your class. Obviously that students can vary from, suppose that marks can be vary from 1 to 50, 0 to 50, suppose it is out of 50. That marks will be from 0 to 50. So that should be, if it is deliberately we are written like that way, so you will not get any information from that. So you will, what you will do that, you will just make a tabular form. Out of that tabular form, you will get so many informations. How many of the children has got less than 10, more than 10, 20, more than 20, 50 marks. Like that way, you will get all the information from that tabular form. That means the number of experiments are large. So we have to make it in the, sometimes we have to condense that observations into tabular form like classes. That also you have learned in the last year. That means how to condense it into groups of equal class size. That means suppose 50 students are there in your class. Each one's marker, it is already mentioned there that. So that one, it is possible to make a tabular form 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that way you cannot do that. It will be tedious problem. So what we'll do that we will just make it into a condensing. That means all the conclusions we have to get from that data. For that purpose, you will make that data into a tabular form and condensing that tabular form into classes of equal class size or class width. Clear to children? This is all you learned it. And next one is that measures of after grouping. After grouping, so that you have to do that, you have to find out some important features of the data by considering certain representatives. And that representative is possible, that representation of the certain representation of the data. This is possible only by using measures of central tendency. That means how that data varies. That means by considering mean, median and mode. These are the three measures of central tendency which will represent the total data, important features of the data. That is known by the name measures of the central tendency. From that, you already find out how to find out mean in the last year, but median and mode. But it is for ungrouped frequency distribution. Now, in this class, what you are going to see that how to find out the mean of a group data by using some formulas and all. So basically, you should know that what you mean by mean, that you already know that, then also have to explain now. Okay. Now what is mean? So suppose the weight of 10 students of your class is recorded. Okay. Then how to find out the mean? So last year you have learned that means equal to sum of all the observations divided by total observations. That was you have learned it. That was a simpler definition of the mean. Sum of all the observations divided by total number of observations. That's what you are doing that. And for grouped frequency distribution, the problem is not there, but you have to find out some bit value. That is only difference. You can see here that I will explain now. Now already I told you that we are going to find out the three measures of central tendency. From that first one, what you are going to see about mean. So in small classes you have learned that mean means that you will denoted by x bar. Sum of all the observations if it is an ungrouped data. Ungrouped data, so you will write this way, sum of all observations divided by total number of observations. Okay, this one already you are learning, this is for the small classes. Now, suppose x1, x2, x3 up to xn are the observations with corresponding frequencies f1, f2, etc. up to fn respectively. So you can find out the mean, that is x bar, that is equal to f1 x1 into corresponding frequency. That means x1 into f1 plus x2 into f2 plus x3 into f3, like that way up to where xn into fn divided by total number of observations, that is total number of frequencies. How much is that? f1 plus f2 plus etc. plus fn. Now this you can abbreviate like this way. This one you know that sigma means a capital sigma, that means summation. Sigma I is equal to 1 to n, that means it can be any variable from 1 to any number of observations, you can choose it. Fi into xi, so sigma I is equal to 1 to n fi xi divided by sigma I is equal to 1 to n fi. In short form, we can write like this way: sigma fi xi divided by sigma fi. Sigma fi xi means sum of f1 into x1, f2 into x2 plus fn into xn. How many observations are there? That observation you have to multiply by the frequency and write down it's a sigma fi into xi, summation of that one divided by total number of frequency, that means total frequency, that is sigma fi. This is the short form, you have to write down that. That means x bar is equal to, we can write down like this way, sigma fi xi divided by sigma fi. This is applicable for both ungrouped as well as grouped also. But ungrouped you can see that directly you multiply that xi into fi and sigma fi. But if it is a grouped frequency distribution table, so here this step you have to find out yourself. What is this one? Xi. You have to find out the xi. Fi is already there. So classes are given grouped frequency distribution means what is that? The class is given 10 to 20, 20 to 30 like that. The class will be there or equal class size. And that from that how to find out the xi. Xi means it is known as the class mark That means always the frequency, assume that frequency of each class interval is centered around its midpoint. That is what? Suppose 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, like that the classes is given. Here, if you want to find out the xi of these particular classes, what you should do, that is already telling that the frequency is centered around the mid value of this class. Therefore, you have to find out the mid value of this, that means class mark of this 10 to 20 class. How to find out the that one class mark is equal to upper class limit plus lower class limit divided by 2. Here you know that which is the upper class limit 20, which is the lower class limit 10. So 20 plus 10 divided by 2. That means what will be the answer for this exercise? It will be 50. Same way 20 to 30. That is 30 plus 20 by 2. That means it is equal to 25. This one will be is equal to 35. Like that way you can find out the exercise. Then next step what is that? You have to find out fi into xi. That means the frequency multiplied by this xi. That means class mark. And total of that one and total of the frequency, you will get the answer for x bar, that is mean. And this method is known by the name. Which method it is that? Direct method. That means simply you are finding out the xi and you are just multiplying that fi into xi, summation of that one divided by summation of the frequency, you are going to get the answer for the mean. That is called by the name direct method. Now two more methods are there, that step one is that assumed mean method, other one is that step deviation method. And these all the three methods, if you are finding out the answer, you are going to get the same answer only. If you are finding out by direct assumed mean, step deviation method, you are going to get the same answer only. In your question paper, if it is board exams, in question paper it is asked, you have to find out the mean of the frequency distribution, grouped frequency distribution table. With that time, you can use any of the method unless and until the method is not mentioned. Suppose in bracket, the method is mentioned that you have to use this method, direct method. That time, you have to use that method. Why it is so? Because you know that these all methods you are going to get the same answer only. But if you are doing by any of the method which is not mentioned, which is not asked in the question, so you will not going to get the marks. That is an important point you should remember. Now I will show you that how to do a cluster grouped frequency distribution table is given. How to find out by using direct mean, direct method, assumed mean and the step deviation method. Now look at how to find out the mean using direct method. For that purpose, have taken that table 14.2 in your textbook only. Say illustration only I have taken for you. Now class interval is given like this way, 10 to 25, 25 to, here you know that 15, 15 difference, class size is 15, 15. Okay? And approach currents are also given 2, 3, 7, 6, 6, 6 like that way. That means total this frequency, this one you can write as that Fi. Is it right? Now for this purpose what you should find out xi, that means class mark you have to find out. Class mark I already mentioned you that how to find out class mark upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. Here it is that 10 plus 25 divided by 2. It will come 25 by 2 is equal to 17.5. Next one 25 to 40. That means 25 plus 40. 65 divided by 2 is equal to 32.5. Like that way I have found out each class mark I found out. Then after that what you should multiply, please be careful here. You have to multiply this frequency and this xi. Okay, this both you have to multiply. Fi into xi. 2 into 17.5, 3 into 32.5 like this way, 7 into 47.5. Like that way you multiply it all together. That I written in another column, tabular form, Fi into xi. Now finally you got that sigma Fi xi is equal to how much you got? 1860. Now how much I got sigma Fi is equal to sum of all the frequencies. I got as 30. So I got the answer x bar is equal to sigma Fi xi divided by sigma Fi, that the answer is equal to 60. That means by direct method you are just multiplied, nothing else. Now you can see here that class mark difference is also same as that of class size. That means 10 to 25, class size is that, class width is that 15. The same way 17.5 and 32.5, difference is that 15. 32.5, 47.5, difference is 50. Suppose if you find out if the class is continuous, that you should look at that. The class is equal class length, your class size. Then you can say that class mark also varies with that class size. Clear for you now this one? Now we can look at the other method, whether you are going to get this answer or not. For direct method you got that x bar is equal to 62. Now next method what you are going to see that we are going to find out the mean by using the another method that is called by the name assumed mean method. Now using the other method, that means direct method already we have seen that x bar you got the answer as 62 from the direct method. Now we are going to get the same answer for this assumed mean method also. So let us take the same tabular form is same only. So when class interval is given, numbers are the same. I have just for checking out that whether you are going to get the same answer or not. So class interval, number of students, class mark up to what is same for both the methods. Now next we are going to find out another column, which is a column that we are going to tabulate, that is called by the name deviation. This di, it is noted by di. Deviation is equal to xi minus a. What is a? A means assumed mean. That means we are going to suppose any one of the class mark almost in the middle. That means you can choose almost middle means 47.5 also, 62.5 also. Almost middle you are going to choose one class mark that is equal to assumed mean. That means that is equal to a. You will denote it by a, small a. Okay, you can use because here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is there. So we can say take third one also, yeah, fourth one also. Whichever method, whichever one is usable for you, you can find it. Now you will choose it that here I choose 47.5 as a. That means assumed. Now next step we are going to find out the deviation. Deviation means how much this mean is, this assumed a is deviating from this every class mark. That means 17.5 how much deviation from 47.5, 32.5 how much is deviated to 47.5. That means we are going to find out xi minus a. That is an important thing. Xi minus a means xi you should take first, then a you should take second. That means xi 17.5 minus 47.5. So obviously you know that we will get the answer as minus only, minus 30. Same way 32.5 minus 47.5 for this class you will get minus 15. Now for this class mean and xi, this a and xi are same. So 47.5 minus 47.5 what is getting 0. Now below this 0 you are going to get positive values because this one is more than the e. That means 62.5 minus 47.5 you will get 15, 72.5 minus 47.5 you will get 30, 92.5 minus 47.5 you will get 45. Next step what you should do that here you should be careful because you should multiply this one and this one, fi and di. Don't multiply with this one. Normally you will make such type of mistakes in the exams. So what you should do that when you are doing that you should multiply this fi and this deviation. Fi into di, so you will multiply 2 into minus 30 minus 60, 3 into minus 50 minus 45, 7 into 0 0, 6 into 50 90, like that way I multiply with each di with the fi. So I got summation as 435. Here you know that some terms are minus and some terms are plus 540. So when you are subtracting 540 and minus 1.5, so you will get that 435 as the answer. Now formula you have to find out for this. This is assumed mean method. Formula is that x bar is equal to a plus, that means assumed mean. That means what you have taken that 47.5 plus sigma fi di by sigma fi. Previous method what was that? Only sigma fi xi by sigma fi. But here we have find out one more column. What is that? Di. So sigma fi di divided by sigma fi. Now that answer you have to find out separately, please. Because a plus sign you have to do after all division this one. 435 by 30. That means this both you should not add each other. That is the main mistake you are going to commit. That means 47.5 and 435 don't add it. First of all you divide this one because according to Godmar's rule division you have to do first then addition. Okay. Then 47.5 plus 435 by 30 you are going to get 14.5. When you are adding you are going to get the answer 62. So in the previous method also you got the answer 62. In this method also you have got the answer as 62. That means by assumed mean method also you got the same answer 62 by taking di. That means deviation with the by taking an assumed mean di is equal to xi minus a. You find out that answer. Now one more method is there that is known as a step deviation method.